6 years ago, I got the platinum for the Surge. The game has 2 DLCs that I've never touched, and I decided to change that. I'm gonna play both DLCs and get every trophy for that beautiful 100%. Like I said, the Surge has 2 DLCs, but we're gonna start with the second DLC because it's got no missable trophies and it'll be easier for me to just hop in and get used to the game again. The first DLC I hopped into was the Good, the Bad, and the Augmented. The DLC pretty much is just challenge rooms that the game calls episodic test chambers. Each episode's pretty much the same thing. You're killing enemies, and at the end of it you fight a boss. The only difference between all of them is the types of enemies you run into. Before starting an episode, you can add modifiers to your run. There are 4 levels of difficulty to your modifiers. Level 1 being not that bad, level 4 being the hardest. Level 1 modifiers could just be adding a filter to your screen. Level 4 could be taking away your weapons where you're barehanded and you take damage as you deal damage. The first thing I did was hop into episode 1. I threw on the modifier, which took away my ability to heal myself, which I thought was going to be harder, but I actually got through it pretty easy. After killing my first boss and finishing the episode, I got my first trophy for completing an episode with 1 modifier enabled. Later on in episode 3, I came across this area that looked like a graveyard. All around the map there's all these graves, and after breaking all of them, I got a trophy. So after episode 3, not much really happened in terms of trophy hunting. I really just played through each level, and they did get pretty hard towards the end. If you're curious to see any of these levels, I did stream a lot of this DLC, and the VODs will be up on my channel. You could always watch them anytime. The final boss fight on episode 9 is actually all the bosses combined, but really you only gotta beat one of them, and for some reason they all die. Which is kinda lame, but it is what it is. After defeating the last boss, you can go to this secret room that has this console, and interacting with this console will turn off that commentator you hear in the background, and it'll earn me another trophy.
Wait, no touching, okay?
Right after doing that, I walk up these stairs and it ends the episode, which gives me the trophy for completing every episode.
That wasn't the volume slider.
After certain episodes, an audio log will spawn in this main hub area, and after completing episode 9, the last one spawns, which earns me another trophy.
Medical examination of number RT 3.
After finishing the last episode, I started replaying the first episode while activating all the modifiers one by one, because there's a trophy tied to getting all the vanities, which the vanities are unlocked through using the modifiers. The vanities are just like clothing items, glasses, hats, stuff like that, things I never bothered to even use. During these runs, I only used the levels 1 through 3 modifiers because there's a trophy to complete a level with all 4 of the hardest modifiers on. Getting this trophy isn't as hard as it sounds, it's more just annoying, because one of the modifiers, as you can see, is just like this random ring that pops up constantly, and an explosion happens inside that ring doing a lot of damage. The cool thing is you could use it to damage the enemies as well, which comes in handy with that boss. For the other 3 modifiers, one is a time limit, and if it runs out, that's it, game over. The other one takes away my weapons, so I have my bare fists and I take damage as I hit enemies. And what sucks is I can't heal unless I take off enemies' arms or legs, and to do that I have to hit them, so I'm just constantly hurting myself trying to heal myself, if that makes sense. After barely surviving that run, I get the trophy for completing an episode with the 4 hardest modifiers enabled. I have now completed episode with every modifier, which means I just have to interact with the workshop and I'll unlock the trophy for having all the vanities. I now have 3 trophies left for this first DLC. One of them is for cutting off 42 arms, and the other 2 are collectibles, one for weapons and one for armor. And if you haven't played the Surge, the way you get armor parts is actually by targeting certain armor pieces on your enemies, and once you do enough damage, you'll cut it off and you'll collect that armor piece. And it's the same with the weapons. If you were to target their arm, you'll get the armor piece for the arm and whatever weapon they were carrying. Now the real problem with this is it's all random. I'll hop into a level and fight enemies, and I could go through an entire episode and they will not have the certain arm piece I need, or the body, whatever it is. And it's also specific to each level which enemies will have it and which enemies will not. And also the bosses have the same set of armor as the regular enemies, but it's like an upgraded version, and I need to collect both sets for this trophy. While trying to get these armor pieces, I can use modifiers. The higher the modifier I use, the better loot I can get, which will, make it a little easier to find the armor I need and weapons. And that's pretty much what I did to finish off this DLC. I just threw modifiers on and kept running through the episodes trying to get the armor pieces I needed. And since I was cutting off so many arms, I ended up getting the trophy for cutting off 42 arms. So I got nervous for this last trophy. I created all the armor sets and I wasn't getting the trophy. Turns out you have to create 2 arms and 2 legs of each one, so just a heads up, if you're going for this trophy, you gotta do that. Now that the first DLC is done, it's time to move on to the next one, A Walk in the Park. This is more of a traditional DLC. It expands the map more and it adds more story. I will not be going to the story at all in this. I'll just be going over the trophies, and looking at these trophies, there's one missable, highly missable, where if I missed it, I have to restart completely. And another one which is missable but not as bad, but we'll talk about those when we get to them. So we are looking for collectibles again. There's audio logs and there's armor pieces. The armor is going to be a lot easier this time because I know where the enemies are at and I just got to farm the pieces I need. So the plan is to just play through the story, get collectibles, and pay attention for that highly missable trophy. And not too far into the DLC, I end up earning my first trophy. Okay, I could get a trophy for killing these group of guys, this parade. Let me just take this guy out. Okay. Sorry to ruin your guys' parade here, but I need a trophy. Oh my god. This ugly candy bar. And there we go. No more marching. Killed all the mascots of the popcorn parade. A bit later into the story, I get this trophy for surviving this ambush. Is this real life? Survive rebooting the network in the Project Resolve Center. Nice. Not too far after that ambush, I get thrown into the first boss fight of the DLC. Oh, we just chopped that fool in half. That wasn't bad at all. Gave me a weapon and a trophy. Right here I get a trophy for opening up the shortcut to the final boss, but before we get to them, we got some more things we gotta do. Oh, and a trophy.
Unlock the Rusty Spring Tower.
So this is a trophy I was talking about earlier that's highly missable.
Alright,
If
I
I
know
mess
this is
this up,
where the missable-
I have to start a new playthrough
highly
completely, not the DLC, just
If
a
I
new
mess this
playthrough
up,
of the main story and work my way all the way
higher.
back to the point where I can access the DLC.
So I have to get to him and save him before he gets launched off, and I can't die, or else I'll completely miss out on this trophy. I'm trying to run past that guy. Get this audio log. Running up. Run this way, over here. And... okay, there we go. Wasn't bad at all, but I just didn't want to redo all that. Rusty Rat. Saved Rusty Rat, okay.
Okay, now that the missable trophy's out of the way and the final boss is ready to be defeated, it's time for me to go around and get all the armor pieces that I need for the trophy to build all armor pieces. And remember that parade I took out earlier with all the mascots? I actually have to go around the map finding them again so I could cut their heads off to create their helmets for another trophy.
Before we go to the main boss, we can actually craft all the armors. I have them actually, I didn't realize that. So we got... first I'm going to do all the mascot heads. Coffee bean. The donut. The chocolate bar. And the can. And dress up. Collected and crafted all 4 mascot heads. Eagle armor done. Mantis. And ogre. Is there another one I'm missing? Oh, no, there. Okay. New gear. Crafted all gear sets found in Creo World. There we go. Attempt number 2.
Okay, so now it's time to beat the final boss. There's 2 trophies related to this boss fight, one for just beating the boss, and one for beating the boss while wearing this Iron Mouse gear. The Iron Mouse suit is actually unlocked during the main story of the game. I had to defeat these random enemies that will drop a coin that I would use at this vending machine that will give me each piece of the armor. The Carbon Cat has 2 phases. The first phase, they're just this little version of themselves, and I just kind of was pretty aggressive. And for the second phase, they turn into a larger version of themselves. And I pretty much just kept my distance. I would hop in, do a little bit of damage, hop out, hop back in, a little bit of damage, hop out, pretty much until they were done.
I want to know what was the... was he doing that as I was melting my health? This little tornado around his body. Come on, lock in. Last hit. I'll let the drone do it. There we go. Carbon Cat done. Carbon Cat. There should be one more. Carbon Cat versus Iron Mouse. Defeat Carbon Cat as Iron Mouse.
The last trophy I need is to collect all the audio logs. I was watching a guide and somewhere along the way I missed one of them.
Somewhere. Oh, here we go.
One voicemail recovered from previous visit. Creo, keeping your memories close to heart.
Look, Warren. I know I can't
I
talk
missed
you out of
one
this.
somewhere. Alright, this should be the last collectible right here. Unless I missed another one. And that wasn't it either. It's really been right here just hiding this whole time. This should be it.
Hello? Hello,
Yes,
can
it is
anyone hear
okay.
me?
Good listener.
This is
Collected all audio logs found in Creo World.
SNR Officer Rodriguez.
That's 100% the DLC's done.
Our chopper went down.